Hey, scientist here, and no, you're super wrong, which is slightly concerning because you're citing being a science teacher as the reason why you're so confident in this statement. Even though this comment feels a little, with the caps locks and everything, it could just be me, but I imagine you just want to share knowledge, and I'm actually really glad you found my video because that gives me the opportunity to talk about what corals actually are. I admittedly have a strange obsession with taxonomic classifications, but corals are definitely animals. I actually have a lecture on this, and I can go on for like an hour. I won't do that, spare you that. Let's talk corals. This last video, I mentioned coral as an animal, and I also called it an ecosystem, and that can kind of be confusing because ecosystems are made up of all of the biotic and abiotic components interacting together, and that doesn't really help when we're trying to understand classification. But the truth is, corals are both. They create and provide an irreplaceable ecosystem to so many marine species, and they're also animals. The entire coral head is not one individual animal, but each coral head can be made up of hundreds of thousands of individual animals called polyps, and polyps form a coral colony. Specifically, corals are invertebrates, one of the 6 animal groups that fit under that classification, and they're in the phylum Cnidarian. This is where we get into taxonomic classification. So this little pyramid: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Something we all maybe memorized in like 5th grade science class, actually. So corals and all other cnidarians are invertebrates. They're in the animal kingdom, and cnidarian specifically is a phylum. So it's a really big group with over 10,000 species. And Anthozoa is the group within that phylum, which are sea anemones and corals. And the closest relatives to corals are things like jellyfish and box jellies, which makes sense if you look at them all. You can see how the polyp kind of looks like a sea anemone, which kind of looks like an upside down jellyfish. That's because cnidarians are animals that are classified by a simple stomach, singular mouth, surrounded by stinging tentacles. This comment mentioned how coral has this really notable and unique relationship with a species from another kingdom, algae, and they've been evolving to live in the oceans for the past 200-300 million years and have developed a really sophisticated form of mutualistic symbiosis with zooxanthellae. Symbiosis is a close and long-term dependent interaction between 2 organisms. Mutualistic means that it's benefiting both of them. I would love to get into the coral-algae bond, but I realize that people on TikTok don't have the attention span for this, and this is already kind of pushing the limits. Hopefully a few people now can bring a fun trivia fact to their friends. Coral is an animal, and a really important animal at that. We need to protect them, and I think understanding them is the first step to wanting to care about them. And that really is my only goal, protecting them. So I hope this helps.